know the classic adage that good artists borrow and great artists steal, but if you're always borrowing and stealing, then what is actually yours? How can you know that what you're creating is coming genuinely from you? Every creative, and especially writers, longs to find their own unique voice and style. And often while trying to emulate the quality and the craft of the people who served as their great inspiration. So how do we learn from our teachers, mentors, and idols while also creating a voice that is unique and special to only us? Well, let's explore together. Let's be real. Musical theater is pretty crowded at this point with iconic works. And if we look past the iconic works, it's even more crowded. There's a lot of stuff being created all the time by new writers, literally every day. So finding your voice is going to be critical to the process of standing out above the crowd. And yet, most, if not all, new musical theater voices are created on the backs of giants and through the same roots and musical inspirations that we all share in common from the past 100 years. So if that's the problem, what do we do about it? How do we find our voices? First and foremost, I do want you to look at your inspirations. I want you to study the musicals written by the people you love and who inspire you, and I want you to figure out what is it exactly that draws you to them and to this piece. Are you inspired by the complexity of Stephen Sondheim? If so, look at the shows that particularly draw you, the moments that particularly draw you, and take a look into the depth of the writing itself. Figure out, how did he create such complexity? Are you energized by Lin-Manuel's innovation? What did he do differently than everyone else who came before him? And how did he utilize what came before him in a new way? You'll have to sit down with his shows and explore, where did he get innovative? How? Was it brand new, or was it built off of the back of something that already existed? Or do you love Rodgers and Hammerstein, the classic, the golden age, the gilded age, whatever you call it? Do you love their poetic storytelling that sings, that's got tunefulness? Figure out, by sitting down with their scores, how they made it happen. Because we're going to utilize this information as a springboard as we begin to think about us and our styles. For me, big inspirations were obviously Sondheim and Menken, the entire Disney canon really growing up, let's be real, Kander and Ebb, even Andrew Lloyd Webber. These were people who I revered for different reasons. And when I was beginning this journey, even before I started to write, I was studying their scores, studying their shows, trying to figure out what they were doing and how it worked, how it functioned. And that opened up a lot of doors for me early on so that I could take bits and pieces, tips and tools, little things I could just tuck away into my toolkit and pull out when I wanted to or when I needed to. And all the while, that, even though it is based on what existed before me, helped me create my unique voice. This may feel like a weird one to some of you, but passion, excitement, enthusiasm, this stuff is contagious. When you write about things that genuinely excite you, certain stories, characters, themes, moments, musical styles, that shines through in your writing in a way that is really difficult to ignore. And even more so, we all have our own viewpoints and opinions on anything and everything, which is why you can have two people making an adaptation of the same story and they sound completely and utterly different. When you bring your opinion and your perspectives to the things that light you up, your genuine voice will shine through. You can't help it. On the flip side, if you're writing things that you are not excited about at all, let me tell you, you're gonna default to other people's stuff, other people's voices. If it doesn't excite you, you're not gonna shine, friends. I want you to shine. Next, don't be afraid of being unconventional. But Michael, you constantly talk about the things that work in musical theater. Yes, but I also say there are no hard and fast rules, and I say that for a reason. Whether it's a structure, a musical style, or a storytelling technique, or anything else, when you feel that you have permission to play around with what exists or to create something entirely new, just because your gut says so, more of you is gonna shine through than if you sit down and go, well, yeah, you know, I feel like this should be XYZ, but I've never seen that before, so maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll just do an AABA 32-bar course and call it a day. That is the old. This is the new. This is the you. Whatever resonates the most with you is what is going to allow your voice to shine through to the best of its ability. Whether you're taking something that already exists and tweaking it to better fit your story, or you're coming up with something that you think might be entirely original, it doesn't really matter. When it feels like it resonates with you, your story, your excitement, that's when it's worth paying attention to. And let's be real, we can always use challenge and limitation as well to purposefully pull ourselves out of our comfort zones. I've often set myself a challenge with a piece because I know I've never written this kind of song before, but it would be appropriate to this moment. So I'm going to try it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it does work, it is yes, because the structure of the thing I tried is great and it works. Yes, but also because I found excitement and joy and passion that fit with the story. Similarly with limitation, when I set myself creative parameters, I will notice when I'm coming up against the bumpers and have to figure out a new way to do something that I've never thought of before. Innovation is beautiful in your creative work. And let's also take a moment here to acknowledge that your voice is going to evolve and change and grow. The stuff I wrote 10 years ago, 15 years ago, does not sound like the stuff I'm writing today. And that is good. We want to evolve. So don't feel like you have to get stuck in the ways you've done things previously. Approach every new project or even every new creative session day with this frame of reference of following what resonates with you. Even if that's different from yesterday, or different from 2 years ago, or different from the hit show you wrote 7 years ago. Follow the evolution. Try things out, let them evolve, experiment, allow new definitions to come into your voice. This is a large part of what we talk about in the practical side of the musical theater writing workshop course, that flagship course, because we have these practical exercises. The 6 song challenges, the 3 rewrite challenges, a lot of this is exploration and experimentation in order to figure out what your voice is, sounds like, could sound like. So if that's of interest to you, then there's a link in the description below and check it out and see if you want to apply. There's no risk in applying and I'd love to chat with you about it. Don't chase trends. When I look at various times in my musical theater writing career, life, when the canon seems to stall a little bit across new musical theater writers, it's because I look around and everyone's doing the same thing. It begins to feel very cookie cutter. It's like something worked for one person or for 2 people and then everyone's like, well then we're gonna do that, let's do that. No. Don't chase the trends, my friends. Find what feels like it is genuine to you. Because let's be real, if it feels true to you and you have intention behind it to create stories that are doing the work you want to be doing and doing it in a way that resonate with who you are, your core, your center, then you don't need those trends. Whatever you write is going to be more you and more exciting than anything else that other people are following. And of course, none of this is a quick process, but when you put in the work and you go through it, what comes out the other side is going to be tremendous and so unique to you. And if you want to hear a deep dive example of how this has actually practically worked through my own journey across 15 years plus of writing musical theater, then you should watch this video next. Otherwise, thank you all for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!